Welcome to Know Your Mobile. I'm Basil, this is an HTC 8X and this is an 8S, and we're here to compare the two. The 8X is the flagship, the 8S is the mid-ranger, and in design terms they are quite clearly from the same family. They both have this gorgeous pillowy backing, nice sharp corners, and by nice and sharp we don't mean so sharp they dig into the hand, we mean sharp enough to give them a really strong visual identity. The 8X does feel a little bit more premium owing to it being the flagship device. The contours are that bit more nuanced, the screen feels slightly more contoured and moulded into the sides of the plastic. However, the 8S for a £250 handset is pretty much the best design you're going to get out there for the price. The two-tone aesthetic really makes it stand out from the crowd. It's available in this black and white, which is really nice and classical, also blue, orange and grey and lime green. So you've got a huge choice out there colour-wise. You do have the choice with the 8X, but it's not quite as fun and young, and rightly so. It's a £400 handset, which is still great value. Both of these devices have 4-inch or thereabouts screens. However, the HTC 8X comes in at 4.3 inches, so it's a little bit bigger. The 720p gives it gives it a higher pixel density, so you do get a sharper display. It's also a more advanced technology. It's SLCD2 as opposed to the SLCD display on the 8S, and the viewing angles and general screen experience really do reflect this. The 8XS still does a good job when looking at it head on and is very responsive to the touch, so we're not really complaining here as much as highlighting differences. As far as the operating systems go, both run Windows Phone 8, and there's not really much point comparing these two in too much detail because they're actually identical. HTC bundle it with a host of their own apps. There are resizable tiles on the left hand screen, which is called your start menu. On the right hand screen you've got a list of all your applications, and that's pretty much all you need to know for Windows Phone 8. Long press back, you get a multitasking, you've got the 3 capacitive buttons that take you straight there to your top start menu. In a nutshell, exactly the same. Moving on to the camera zone, you've got quite a bit of difference here, at least in terms of specs. You've got an 8 megapixel camera on the 8S and you have a 5 megapixel camera on the 8S. The 8 megapixel camera comes in with an f2 lens in contrast to the f2.8 lens on the 8S. And both devices pack physical camera buttons on the left hand side. The 8S feels nicer to hold as a camera, and that's owing to its slightly thicker, chunkier design. It's more squat. Not squat, but more squat, and it's got more grip as well. Well, it feels like it's got more grip because the edges aren't quite as sharp. So you can very comfortably in one hand just hold the phone and take a quick picture. It's a 2-stage camera button, so we can take the picture and quickly see. You've got pretty decent quality picture from a 5 megapixel camera. Low light performance isn't amazing on either. The flashes both do help. Despite being 8 megapixels, detail isn't much better on the 8X. So we say the camera wouldn't really be the biggest differentiator despite the specs suggesting so. What is a huge difference though is the front-facing camera on the 8X. The 8X's front-facing camera has a gorgeous wide angle, and there is no front-facing camera on the 8S, so anyone who likes video calling will be served exclusively with the 8X. As far as our performance goes, there's a 1.5 GHz dual-core processor on the 8X, whereas 8S has a 1 GHz dual-core processor, and this won't make any difference, at least not with any apps available on the market today. The 8S's dual-core processor powers through the operating system extremely smoothly. As we've said, it's all very responsive, and Windows Phone 8 is such an efficient operating system that performance speeds shouldn't affect your buying decision. What might though are things like storage and connectivity. The HTC 8X has DCHSPA even, which is a faster version of 3G, so you'll get faster internet speeds on here, and in addition it's got NFC. It's got 16 gigabytes of memory as well, so that's going to give you more room for storing all your movies and videos. In contrast, the HTC 8X doesn't have NFC and it doesn't have super fast internet, so that's not LTE, it's just 3.5G. That's super fast internet. This has 3G, that has 3.5G, clearing that up. It also has 8 gigabytes of memory on board and is expandable, so while it might not have more memory out of the box, you can potentially get more memory onto here. So if you're a file hoarder and you love a lot of movies, a lot of videos, a lot of music, then the 8S might end up actually being the better choice for you. Battery life is very comparable. The bigger battery in the 8X has to power a bigger screen at a high resolution, and both last about a full day with some juice left in the tank. So all in all, they are comparable handsets, but there are clear differentiators that would make you want to go for the 8X if you want that fast internet, that speedy experience, and that slightly more premium design. At £250, so you really can't get much better design than the 8S, and it feels gorgeous in the hand. So that's been a quick comparison. Feel free to comment on the video below if you like it, and ask us any questions that you may have. Thanks for watching Know Your Mobile.